Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Breakfast with Bulls, where I'm going to go over a chart update on the top 10 NFT stocks that everybody has been talking about. And I want to go over these as the market has been on a sell-off recently. Now, it did have a nice little recovery towards the end of Friday, but however, it is still choppy. I want to see better market conditions before I start jumping into a lot of tech plays and many other plays. Again, SPY has been pretty nice actually overall. So if you are in a lot of SPY plays, in my opinion, they're nice long plays based on the sell-off that we've been seeing. But however, you definitely want to be careful as the market still could sell off if we get more bad China news. But however, I'm going to go back right into the NFT space as, again, I want to go over the top NFT stocks that we have been looking at. And again, much love to everybody in the comment section as always. You guys have been showing me tons of love and God bless you guys. And if you guys haven't subscribed, we do go all out Monday through Friday on entries and breakouts. And lastly, tomorrow we do go over a Sunday night countdown on our top 10 plays going into the week as it is our weekly watch list. Now let's jump right into our first play. Again, TKAT was the beginning of everything that did start this NFT talk. So TKAT was the huge runner that we saw at first, and I wanted to go over this one as it has been consolidating. So you can see overall that we have had a nice run up on TKAT. Now we ran all the way up to around $74 and we did come down, we did consolidate, and we're looking to see if we're going to have a breakout again, but we are going to look at the volume first. We're going to see that the volume has been pretty flat. And again, you could see the volume previously was at a major point. So we are going to wait for confirmation around this area to break out of the highs that we saw previously. Definitely that would make logical sense. So we are going to wait for that confirmation. We're going to wait for that volume confirmation that we do see in many of the stocks that we have mentioned. But however, like I said, TKAT is only on the watch at this point. But what my strategy here is, I do see this sell-off point, and I'm going to set my alert for around $54. If it does break $54, then we would have probably got news or some type of potential breakout on volume. So again, if it does break 54, I definitely will go check the news on it and we'll check the volume. If the volume does confirm at that point, then again, like I said, I would be buying into this for a nice day trade or a possible swing trade into the next day. As again, these NFT plays have been a 1 to 2 day swing usually, and they like to have a huge sell-off as they are very speculative at this point. But however, if you do believe in the NFT space, then TKAT, in my opinion, would be a nice long play, but don't exactly expect to not have a sell-off, so because this definitely does have a lot of speculation. You can see this did come all the way down to around $31 pretty easily, and we could possibly follow that huge sell-off again, and we definitely don't want to be in the middle of that. So TKAT will be on the watch, but however, like I said, we need more volume confirmation, and I'm going to go over the next one here, FNKO. In my opinion, FNKO is one of the more safer NFT plays. And I know not a lot of people talk about these, but we do want to buy into, in my opinion, not a recommendation. This is what I do. I like to buy into companies that are actual good companies. And I like FNKO as a company overall. I do think that they'll be very bullish regardless. And again, they do have NFT talks. So again, we could possibly see another run up on this one. We did come all the way up to around 24.66. We came down, consolidated. It's almost very similar to TKAT, but a little healthier in my opinion. You can see we do have some volume that's been coming in. Even on Friday, we could see we had a nice little run up. We could potentially break out into next week or possibly the week after, but we are going to have our alert set, in my opinion, around our previous sell-off point and our previous high that we broke into. So again, if this does break over $21, I will have an alert set and I will check the volume and check the news. And at that very point in time, like I said, I think it would possibly have volume confirmation or possibly have news. And if not, and it broke $21, I would not be buying into it. So like I said, FNKO is one of the safer plays. If you're trying to look for a long play, again, I am playing FNKO long. I have bought this one back around $20, I think it is. So I'm down on this one, but I didn't buy too much into it. But I definitely do day trade these, and I go crazy on these day trades because honestly, the volume that has been coming in on these NFT stocks has been absolutely insane. So FNKO will definitely be on the watch, and I do have my alert set for around $21 to check news or volume at that point. DLPN is one of the best runners that we did see in the NFT space. This one came all the way from $5 to around $32, and people got extremely rich off of this one. I know a lot of people that actually bought this way early, and I actually bought when it did consolidate here and broke out. So I bought it on a quick day trade for like 30%. I think it was because it did come up already quite a bit, and I just sold on some bearish divergence on the 1 minute. But however, we did come up to around $32. We're going to keep that in account, and we do have a sell-off point like we do on TKAT and FNKO. And I'm going to set this alert here for this point in time. Again, if it does break over $19, we are going to check the volume and the news on this one. But however, like I said, it's not exactly my favorite sell-off point because, buying point because it has been on a sell-off. It did create lower lows than we saw when it did have that huge sell-off. So we could potentially see more of a sell-off. But however, they do have a potential merger rumor coming in with HOFV. So if they do have that merger actually come through, in my opinion, they would possibly not sell off as deep as we want, and we could possibly, and it's not as much as we want actually, as much as it would go. But however, if it does have that merger again, like I said, it probably would consolidate and break out from here. So again, we are going to have DLPN on the watch. If it does break 19, there's nowhere that it's going to go without us breaking $19 on good news or volume. So I do have that alert set, and I will be day trading or possibly swing trading into the next day for DLPN. And speaking of HOFV, let's go over HOFV, as this one has that huge spike like we see on most of these NFT spaces. And we have that sell-off point like we do see on most NFT spaces. And we do see that we can have alert here. I want to set my alert here right above our previous high here. So again, 581. If it does break over 581, I'll check the volume and check the news on it real quick. And again, like I said, it'll have a nice day trade or swing trade. But however, HOFV definitely was beat up during the coronavirus, as previously what they actually were trying to do is they are a entertainment center that they were trying to create their own theme park within the NFL space to have more of an entertaining NFL outlook for fans. So again, I like HOFV. I did like it before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, it definitely got beat up. So I actually did buy around the $2 range, and I am still swinging this one. I didn't buy too much because it was very speculative, but I did like it as a very similar play to SLGG, where they got beat up really badly. But however, I think they were just really underpriced, in my opinion, based on SPY that was supposed to be popping in the next month or two. So again, like I said, the reopenings are coming. So there's a lot of stocks that may be underpriced, in my opinion, that I did buy into, and HOFV was one of them. I didn't expect it to have NFT news, so it wasn't a NFT amazing play or anything. I just happened to get the news on it. But like I said, I will be day trading this if it does break over 581 and we get volume confirmation here. But however, if it doesn't, I'll wait for it to break 782 and get that volume confirmation. So HOFV is definitely on the watch. Now, CIDM was one of those disappointing ones. We saw news on it. The news wasn't good enough. They just had they had news on the team that's going to work on NFT products, but however, it wasn't good enough news because, in my opinion, they probably would have to come out with NFT products for them to get the hype that they wanted. So CIDM, in my opinion, is one of the cheaper NFT spaces and possibly could go to $20 at some point if NFT becomes very legitimate and people start to believe in the NFT. Then we definitely could see this run up to around $20. But however, CIDM, in my opinion, is only on the watch. We do have a $2.20 resistance that we did mention previously, and it did not break out of it. So I never bought into this one, even though we did mention it twice in videos on potential breakouts. We did say that if and only it broke over 220, we would buy into it. And then we had our next resistance at 232 and 257. We had a ton of walls coming up. So again, I do believe that is partially why it got rejected. A lot of people took profits knowing that there was walls coming straight up from previous sell-off points. So again, we are going to see if it does break 220. If it does, we will have our alert set and we will check the volume and the news at that point. But however, I think it's very risky to be buying into NFT spaces when they're on a sell-off with no volume. So I definitely would be careful and have your alert set for a nice play, you know? So CIDM is definitely on the watch. I do want to go over FENG. FENG does have, they actually announced on their website they're working with in the NFT space, but they never actually came out with a PR on it. So that's why it did spike up and then it sold off super quickly because they never came out with a PR. But I know a lot of people that are playing FENG long because, again, they do have it on their website and it's almost like they're supposed to come out with a PR. So again, they have a previous consolidated point at 174 and we are currently sitting around 192. I'm buying into this one. I'm going to swing it. I'm not loading too much on it. Like I said, I'm expecting it to sell off. I'm playing it going into the news, knowing that they have a website with NFT on it and that they should. And if they don't, then that's fine. I'll just lose money. I'm fine with that. I'm going into the trade knowing and expecting, knowing what I'm going to be doing. So, but however, if they do get the news, in my opinion, we could see it going from $1.92 possibly to $10 like we saw on HOFV. So FENG is definitely on the watch. And if you guys want to have an alert set so that way you guys can play it safer at 281, then that would be a nice day trade. And again, I will be day trading this one, even though I am buying in this one early. I definitely do day trade them as well. And I do load up on the day trades as well on a different account. So 281, if it does break this point, again, we would have the confidence that we were looking for, in my opinion, possibly on the volume or on news. So again, FENG is definitely on the watch. Now, WKEY was another amazing play in the last 2 weeks. We saw this one ran up all the way to around $22 from its previous point at $8. Actually was previously at $6, but on the NFT news, it broke out around $8. And so we came all the way from $8 to around $22. That was an amazing profitable play. Now we do see the consolidation like we see in other plays, but WKEY is holding up a little nicer than most of them. So I do have my alert set around around $20.90, as this was our previous high that we broke into. But however, we need to see consolidation. We need to see it break out of this point. And if it does, then I'll have my alert set and check the volume at that point. Now we do want that volume confirmation at least above our previous volume spike, in my opinion, to break out of new highs that we want to on the hype and the nice day trade that I want on this. So again, we are going to check the volume on this, but however, we can go over the MACD on this one if you guys would like. We can see an increase in sell pressure and an increase in buy pressure, but however, it looks like we do see a very small decrease in sell pressure. We could potentially see a run, but we're only going to have our eye on this one, in my opinion, at this point, as again, we do have that huge sell-off that we've been seeing in the last week. So we're going to definitely be careful. Now, WKEY did have a nice spike on Friday. I think it pump faked a lot of people, but I think people definitely should be watching at least the $17 mark at the very least to know that that it's not exactly that bullish just yet. So again, that $20 mark is what I'm looking for. I want to see it jump over 2091, like I said. And if it does, like I said, I'll check the volume on it and check the news on it. Now, KBSF is another one. KBSF had their spike. It looks like they did come up and consolidate. Now, KBSF is not exactly one of my favorite ones. This is only a rumor, but if it does break out, like I said, we will set our alert set around this area when we did previously have our highs. It'll be around $5.82. So if it does break over 582, we will have the volume and possibly the news that we're looking for. So we wouldn't even miss out on it as long as we have our alert set on this one. And again, we have seen where these would go if they do have the news that they're looking for. So if it breaks over 582, in my opinion, I'll check the news and the volume on it. But again, KBSF is one of my least favorite out of them all. CSCW is another one. We do have that huge breakout that we saw in most of these NFTs. We had our sell-off. Sorry. We had our sell-off, and then we did have our nice little bull run recently, but however, it didn't break out of our previous highs point where we did sell off. So we are going to see if it does break this. I do have my alert set around 166. If it does break 166, I'll check the volume as well. But again, we want that volume confirmation at least higher than we saw on its previous breakout point. So again, this is the volume confirmation that you guys want to be going into trades with, in my opinion. This is how you create a justified reason for going into a trade, in my opinion. This is only the very beginning on creating a justified reason, but however, this is pretty consistent for every trade that I make, especially day trades. When you look on the 1 minute and you're trying to make a day trade, in my opinion, you see the volume confirmation. In my opinion, it's really easy to day trade if you can just read the volume confirmations. But again, that's not a recommendation. This is what I do. And the last one I want to go over is YVR. Now, YVR did have its huge breakout. This is one of the older ones that broke out. And so it has been on the sell-off recently. So again, we might even see this same type of sell-off in most of these NFTs. So that's why I say I don't like buying in most of these too early unless they're expecting news. So again, they do have that huge sell-off. They're almost down to where they did consolidate around $3.40. So again, we did bounce off of that $3.40 mark, sure enough, and we are consolidating. It looks like it wants to sell off as we do still have very little volume. But however, we do have our alert set to our previous sell-off point. So that way we can check the news and the volume quick enough before it breaks new highs at around 638, as we do have on most of these NFT plays. So YVR definitely will be on the watch. Let's look at the buy pressure here so you can see what we're looking at. So overall, you can see that we are possibly going to continue to sell off as we have an increase in sell pressure and we have a decrease in buy pressure here. So again, only on the watch on YVR. I do like YVR still as a potential breakout. I do think that it potentially could break out. I almost want to say it will, but I can't say that, as again, they are going to need more news to break out. But however, I do like YVR. It's one of my favorite NFT plays of them all. And again, I do want to go over one last stock. This is a penny stock. Everybody's been asking about this one, so I definitely want to go over real quick. SOS is been, I don't know why, but everybody's been talking about it. But I want to go over this one so you can see what we've been talking about previously in videos. So it did have a symmetric triangle on the 4-hour, and it started to sell off, and it had its support here at 622 that we needed, and it sure enough did break down below that. Now it's trying to create a support where it did previously sell off, where it did previously break out as well. And it looks like we are going to try to create that support around 490. If it does not create that support around 490, in my opinion, we will continue to sell off. But however, like you can see here that the volume is slacking. But however, we do like these nice green sticks that have been coming out. We could potentially see a possible confirmation of volume, but we're only going to see a potential breakout on the volume. So I'm not exactly going to be buying this one anytime early, but we will have our alert set on new highs, in my opinion, around 1306, because if SOS does break over 1306, they would potentially have the news or the volume, like I said, to be breaking out of those points. But like I said, it's only going to be on the watch. We want to make sure we buy on confirmation and play patient on every single trade that we make. Again, we want to make sure we are justified in every trade we make. And if we're not justified, then in my opinion, we're playing a little too much of a gamble, in my opinion. So again, much love to everybody that's been in the comment section. You guys have been showing me tons of love. And if you guys do have a watch list, throw it in the comment section. Again, on Sunday nights, we do like going to our Sunday night countdown on our weekly watch list. And lastly, if you are in the comment section after my Sunday night countdown, I like to throw you guys my actual Sunday night watch list. It's like a special one that I like giving to all my comment sections. So again, jump in there. God bless you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video.